Hey there, Agile Adventurer. Just a quick question. What if, for the price of a fancy coffee or half a pizza, you could unlock over 700 hours of the best Agile content on the planet? That's audio, video, e-courses, books, presentations, all that you can think of. But you can also join live calls with world-class practitioners and hang out in a flame war-free and AI slop-clean Slack with the sharpest minds in the game. Oh, and yes, you get direct access to me, Vasco, your Scrum Master Toolbox podcast. No, this is not a drill. It's the Scrum Master Toolbox membership. And it's your unfair advantage in the Agile world. So if you want to know more, go check out scrummastertoolbox.org/membership. That's scrummastertoolbox.org/membership. And check out all the goodies we have for you. Do it now. But if you're not doing it now, let's listen to the podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Team Tuesday. This week, joining us, we have Scott Smith. Hey, Scott. Welcome back.
Hey, Vasco. Thank you for having me join you.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you. And of course, today's Team Tuesday. We'll talk about teams in a second. But before we dive into that, Scott, share with us, what was the book that most influenced you in your career as a Scrum Master?
Maybe not a book, but more so, I think, person who I saw in a role that really inspired me to become, a Scrum Master. This individual was an ex-manager of mine when I was a business analyst, and they really had inspired me to chase my goals and be what I wanted to be. And after 10 years of being a BA, I had gotten to the point where I was, I suppose, ready for a change. I had done an MBA and found that I was really interested in that avenue of change management. So I had decided to take my PSM1 and go down that course and then look for opportunities within my workplace to start to practice Scrum Mastery.
What was the aspect in that person that really inspired you to chase your goals? Because I think that's an amazing and powerful story, right? Like, we all have people in our lives that at some point had an influence on us, and whatever choice we might make in the end, whether it's career or private or personal or anything. But what was that aspect that really made you think that, okay, this is something I can do?
I think it was really having someone who believed in me, and they were supporting me as well in that transition. So being my manager and having that support, and someone who I could go to, and they would give me the space and the time to do the things that I wanted to do to achieve that transition to Scrum Master. That really inspired me to run with it and take that opportunity. These opportunities don't come along all the time, so it was really, I think, grab it whilst it was there, and things kind of aligned up for me in that whilst I was with this manager, I'd applied through the workplace that I was working, I'd applied to do my MBA, and that happened, but the workplace actually paid for it. So it was an additional, suppose, added bonus to me pursuing my goals to be a Scrum Master. Was having that paid for by the workplace and going through that 4 years, and then I moved on to do the PSM1 in the end, and took it from there.
I think it illustrates how important it is to have the right managers in our career and the influence that they can have. So definitely a great story. Now, talking about managers, and or maybe not. Let's see how the story goes. On Tuesdays, we also want to explore the story of a team and how sometimes teams create their own problems, Scott. And here we want to hear about what were maybe some behaviors, some patterns, some interactions that maybe started small in the beginning, but eventually grew and became a problem for that team. So tell us that story, Scott.
Yeah, I can recall one squad that I worked with, and the product owner. They were new to the role, um, and I think on this one occasion we're in a meeting with the team. Can't remember if it was sprint review or sprint planning or something, but the product owner was really short and sharp with their tone of voice, um, and there was a bit of conflict between the product owner and the team. Um, the
How did that
conversation,
conflict emerge? Like as you were observing
yeah.
it, what were the signs of that conflict?
Well, the signs were there were raised voices on both sides, and so the
So
discussion was getting.
emotions ran high, clearly.
That's right. Yeah, they did. They were heated, and as a facilitator in those sessions, I took the opportunity to jump in, and say to the guys, "Listen up, we're on the same team here. Um, we're looking for the same outcomes. So let's take this back a step and um, let's quieten things down a bit and understand each other's perspectives, and really come back to understanding we're both in the same team. We're not trying to fight with each other for different things. So it was really helping that product owner who was a bit um, maybe keen to get things done in their way rather than working collaboratively with the team, bringing it back into perspective for them to ensure that they did it amicably, and they had no sort of ongoing conflict or heated discussions. They really thanked me afterwards as well, actually, for stepping in and having them take that break in that conversation, which um, really I think hit hard for the product owner, as he probably realised, it was his attitude and behaviours that were probably not suitable at that point in time.
So when you think about that, like, of course, the conflict kind of became obvious when people started shouting at each other, obviously, right? But it does take courage to step in. And of course, it takes a certain amount of, how do you say, preparation, because it's not just about stepping in. It's about knowing what to do and how to follow up and, what might be a positive step forward rather than increasing the conflict and maybe getting embroiled in the conflict ourselves. So when you think about that kind of situation, when you're observing that conflict and then you want to step in and then, how do you prepare that? Like what are the things in your mind as you start to step in and also as you present the way forward for the team and the PO? In this case, you said that you ask them to take a break and have a conversation. But of course, that conversation also needs to be facilitated. So how do you prepare yourself for this kind of intervention?
My approach to these types of conversations and interventions is really to think about the people involved. There's people on both sides there, but there's obviously a difference in opinion, perspectives, and it's really about putting yourself in the shoes of the other. So I try to take the approach where, first of all, stop what's going on, um, ask for a break if needed, and speaking to individuals to uh, have them back to a level playing field where they're comfortable going back into the conversation with the other party, without the need for raised voices, heated sort of discussions. Um, so that they can be working together collaboratively without any sort of ongoing undercurrents in the conversation.
One of the things that when I think of this kind of situation, right, like you're bringing people together, even if it is a team and a PO in this case, so it's not just two people, it's like a group, right? You're bringing people together to talk about something difficult. The conflict is there because there's something difficult, right? Otherwise, we would handle the conflict without conflict. One of the things that I often think about is to start from the perspective of helping each part describe what they are trying to achieve, not what they are trying to do, right? Because that would be the task, and that's where the conflict is right now, the task, but rather what they are trying to achieve, like what would be success for them, and asking it in that kind of positive thing, because my intuition, at least, is that once we start looking at, what the success mean, what's the outcome we're looking for, we start to see commonalities, right? And that's where I try to start the conversation. How about you? When you go into this kind of situation, what is something that you bring in to help people come together despite the conflict?
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, and it is really about taking the people thing out of it and personalities out of it. It's really about focusing on what is the outcome that we're all trying to achieve here, and focusing on that outcome as opposed to he said that or she said this. So really peeling it back to together, what is it we're trying to achieve and what is that outcome, really takes the sort of heat out of any conflict that might have arisen, and takes the focus back to the goals that people are trying to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. And the goals are really important. It's a great story. Thank you for sharing that with us, Scott.
Yeah.
All right, I hope you liked this episode. But before you hit next episode, here's the deal. This podcast is powered by people like you, the members who wanted more than just inspiration. They wanted real tools and real connection to people who are practicing Agile every day. We're talking access to over 700 hours of Agile Gold, CTO level strategy talks, summit keynotes, live workshops, e-courses, deep dive interviews, books, and if you're into no estimates, we got the pioneers of no estimates in those deep dive interviews as well. Agile business intelligence, creating product visions, coaching your product owner courses, you name it. You'll get invites to monthly live Q&As with Agile pioneers and practitioners, plus a private Slack community, which is free of all of that AI slop you see everywhere, and of course, without the flame wars. It's a community of practitioners that want to learn and thrive together. It's the best place to connect with community and learn together. So if this podcast has helped you before, imagine what you will get from this podcast membership. So head on over to scrummastertoolbox.org/membership and join the community that's shaping the future of Agile. And we have so much for you. So check out all the details at scrummastertoolbox.org/membership, because listening is great, it's important, but doing it together, that's next level. I'll see you in the community Slack. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.